started. So my name's Roger Garth. I'm going to be your host for this evening. And the presentation that you're going to see tonight is going to be talking about money and the problems that some people are facing and what you can do about it. I'm going to start with a quote from Robert Kiyosaki, who is widely regarded as one of the premier investors in the world. And Robert Kiyosaki said, "Savers are losers." And if ever there was a line that's guaranteed to cause controversy, that's the one. Nobody wants to be called a loser. But having said that, he's got a reason for saying it. So I took this screenshot last week and decided that I'd put it up because after I saw Robert Kiyosaki's quote, I started looking around to back it up and see exactly what he was talking about. And it made complete sense because if you look at this slide goes from March 1979 right through to almost 1919, and 2019 rather. And if you look at this bit here, this bit's relevant to me personally because I got married in 1980. And back in 1980, mortgage rates were like 17%. Can you imagine that these days? But saving rates were up there as well. And if you've been lucky enough back in 1980 to win £1 million, we didn't have lottery then, but we have football pools and various things. If you won £1 million and you'd put it in the bank, just leaving it in the bank, they would pay you a massive £170,000 a year. And you would have thought, that's me set for life. Don't need to work anymore, happy days. But look what's happened over the intervening years. By the time we get to 2000, you'd have been lucky to get sort of 60 grand a year. And by the time we're at today, at today's interest rates, if you won £1 million on the lottery today and you put it in the bank, you'd be looking at between £5,000 and £7,500 a year in interest. So if you decided to quit working, you're going to be spending that £1 million really, really quickly. Now, Robert Kiyosaki talks a lot more about that in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which you can see on the screen. And he also talks about this, the power of the cash flow quadrant. And it's this diagram that he has on the screen. And I just want to take a second to explain it, because according to Robert Kiyosaki, every single one of us fits into one of those four categories. The majority of us fit on the left. We are either employees or self-employed. That covers 95% of the population of the world. The remaining 5% are the business owners and the investors. But that 5% owns 95% of the money. That's scary, really, isn't it? So the question is it possible to move from one side of that quadrant to the other side? And that's what this call is all about. So if you're going to make that move from one side to the other, I suppose the smart thing to do is try and figure out what it is that rich people do that we don't do. Well, the first thing is that rich people don't take risks with the money. They stick with tried and tested methods. And I don't mean stick it in the bank, because we've just demonstrated that doesn't work. But they do stick with methods that have stood the test of time. They also use their money to make money for them. They invest it. And that's what Robert Kiyosaki was driving at, the difference between being a saver and an investor. And the last thing they do is they invest in hands-free solutions. You don't see a rich guy taking a job down a bar, pouring drinks when he needs some extra money to go on holiday. They actually look for hands-free solutions that will make their money to work, make more money for them. And that's where Kuvera comes in. And that's the company we're going to talk to you about right now. So who are Kuvera? Well, Kuvera are a US-based company formed back in 2012. They're floated on the stock market in the US, and they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau in the US. Now, every single one of those facts is hugely important to you if we're talking about investing. Why are they important? Well, first and foremost, the fact that they're a US-based company. The US is the most regulated country in the world when it comes to management, money management. If there is ever going to be, if you're going to ever trust your money to a company, trust it to an American company, because they have to jump through more hoops than anyone else to make sure that they're not taking risks with your money. The fact that the company was formed in 2012 means it stood the test of time. The majority of new start companies fail in their first 12 months. I still never understand to this day when people tell me about exciting new companies that have been around for the last 6 weeks and I'm going to jump in and I'm going to be rich. 6 weeks, you've got no track record. In the first 12 months, 95% of them fail. In the next 12 months, 95% of the remainder will fail. Cuvera has been running for approaching 7 years now. And in that 7 years, they became so successful that they become floated on the stock market in the US. Now, to become floated on the stock market in the US, a bunch of very, very heavy lawyers are going to go through everything about that company in fine detail. They're going to go through the owners. They're going to go through the senior management. They're going to go through what it is they're doing, how they're spending the money. Then they're going to send forensic accountants in who are going to account for every single cent everywhere. And only when they're all happy will they risk floating the company on the stock market. And in fact, the Better Business Bureau in America has given them an A+ rating. Now, their rating starts at F and go up to A+. We get the best rating. And they won't risk their reputation by giving a good result to a bad company. So there's lots of evidence there to stack up that Cuvera is the company to work with. But what is it that Cuvera does? Well, in a nutshell, we teach people how to make their money work for them, and we provide technology that takes the guesswork out of investing. The last thing that you want to do if you're going to invest money is take a guess on it. That's gambling. We don't do gambling. We do smart, intelligent investing. So let's talk right now, excuse me, about the biggest single market in the world, and that's the foreign exchange market, the Forex. The Forex is worth more than $5.4 trillion every single day. Not every week, not every month, not every year, $5.4 trillion a day. That's more than almost every other, not any, but every other industry in the world combined. That's more than oil, that's more than movies, that's more than music, that's more than sports, all put together. There are billions of dollars in profits that are made and won and lost every single day on the Forex market. Well, what if there is a way that you could profit from all of that, but without any experience, without actually having to learn it all for yourself? Because learning it all for yourself isn't a quick process. They reckon it takes 10,000 hours to master any particular subject, about 5 years of normal work. And that bears out if you think about it. If you decide that you want to become an electrician for a job, you're going to take an apprenticeship and you're going to study for 4 or 5 years. If you want to become a mechanic, 4 or 5 years. If you want to become a doctor, 7 to 9 years. If you want to learn a new language, they reckon 4 or 5 years before you become fluent in it. It all bears out. Well, we have a product called FX1. And FX1 uses live experts, and you get to profit from decades of their experience immediately. The way it works is this. We give you access to live and recorded training sessions by video from real expert traders. And we have I think we have something to the order of about 17 sessions like this every single week that you can log into. Live ones, if it's convenient, recorded if it's not convenient, so either way you're going to get it. On top of that, you also get Forex trade alerts sent directly to your phone. We have an app that's on your mobile phone, and when the phone beeps, you know there's a signal there for a Forex trade that you can cash in on. All you need to do is copy and paste the figures that it tells you on the screen, and you get to profit from it. In addition to that, you can also invest hands-free using our convenience tool. And our convenience tool has got more and more people excited these days, because with the convenience tool, you don't even have to copy and paste. You set it up one time. It takes about 2.5 minutes to link the trading tool in our back office to whichever broker you choose to work with, and you choose where you work with. We're not asking you to invest money with us. We don't invest your money. We don't touch your money. You choose who you trust to deal with your money, and we send signals through to them, and the broker that you work with will place the trades on your behalf following our advice. And our track record is enviable, absolutely enviable. Now, in addition to that, we have another product, and the other product is called Crypto One. Crypto One does virtually the same thing, but with cryptocurrency rather than foreign currencies. If you don't know what cryptocurrency is, Think Bitcoin. Pretty much everyone has heard of Bitcoin these days. Even if you don't understand what it is, you've probably heard of it. And you probably haven't heard the best things about it these days, because Bitcoin this year has taken a beating. Well, we can show you how you can actually make money from it even when it's taking a beating. We send out analysis and research of all the top cryptocurrencies. There are more than 1,200 of them. We'll send you crypto trading alerts where you can trade Bitcoin against something different to make more money. And these are all sent out by this guy. This is a guy called Corey Chadwick. Corey is, I think he's 26, 27 years old. He is a multi-millionaire in the crypto space. In the space of the last couple of years, he's made more than $17 million trading cryptocurrencies. I'm going to give you some examples of what he sent us in recent weeks and months. This particular alert he sent out on the 19th of June, but it didn't actually close until last week. And if you look at it, if you'd taken the trade on the 19th of June and you decided to jump out when he hit the first profit level he was talking about, you'd have won 37% profit. If you'd held on for the second profit, you'd have got 120%. If you'd stayed in until Corey said, this is time to get out of this now, guys, you would have made 157% on your investments. And that's just one of his trades. He sent another one through that came through on the 30th of November, just over a week. That one only lasted for one day and it made 75% profit in one day. A couple of days later, he closed another one that again lasted for just one day. It made just 55%. But 55%, if you put your money in the bank to get 55% back, it's going to take you more than half a century. Now, I can show you dozens of these from Crypto Corey, as we call him, but I'm going to shorten it for you. So in the last 8 months, Corey has been putting out educational videos for us and sending trade signals out. He sent out 23 audited trades, and he's made more than 1,500%. 1,500%. And he so far to date is 100% accurate with no losing trades. Now, can we guarantee that he's going to remain 100% accurate? No, we absolutely cannot. The day is coming, without a shadow of a doubt, the day is coming when he's going to miss one. So you don't put all of your eggs in one basket. You don't put all your money on one trade. We teach you how to do this strategically and intelligently. But at the moment, he is so hot, it's not real. And when he does get one wrong, that still means it's only going to be one out of at least 24 or more. And to date, we actually have more than 20,000 people following Crypto Corey, literally all around the world. Another product that we have is a product called Startups. Imagine finding out about Amazon, Google, or Microsoft before anyone else had ever bought shares in them. That would be an amazing company to put your money into, wouldn't it? Well, at some point in time, someone did. But there are other companies still coming up and still opening up every single day that have that same potential. So just imagine this, picture this. If you'd had just £100 to invest back in 2012, and you'd heard of Snapchat, nobody had ever heard of them, nobody knew who they were. By the end of last year, your £100 investment since 2012, your £100 investment would be worth £240,000. That's just one company, and there's tons more. If we look at Uber launched in 2010. If you put £100 into Uber by the end of last year, it would have been worth $1.25 million. And if you looked at Airbnb back in 2008 when they launched and put £100 into them, £100 invested by the end of last year would have been worth £2 million. That's just 3 companies that we're talking about. If you'd saved, rather than saving £100 each in the bank, if you put £100 into each of these companies, by now you'll be worth £3.5 million. But how do you get to find out about companies like this? Not everyone does. Well, this is the man who does. This is a guy called Michael Markowski. Michael Markowski has been an investment manager for more than 40 years, and Fortune magazine ranked him as one of the top 50 all-time best investors. In fact, back in 2010, Time magazine asked Michael Markowski to name a dozen companies that he thought were ripe to invest in and make some money out of them. So he gave them, they literally asked him to put his reputation on the line. He gave them a dozen companies. 2 of those companies were sold for a profit that same year. And by February of last year, when the company reviewed their interview 7 years on, when they rewrote the article, 9 of the remaining 10 companies had also been sold for crazy profits. That meant that he'd actually got 11 out of 12 calls right 7 years earlier. That's a very, very smart guy. Now, he's the guy who tells us which companies to invest with. So there's some crazy investments there. But what happens if you don't have any money to invest? Well, there is a way we can help you with that as well, providing you help us, because there's got to be something in it for us as well. So basically what we're looking at is for you to help us. And here's the way it'll work. Imagine you like what you see, but you haven't got any money to invest. But you go out and you tell your friend Tom, and Tom likes what he sees, and maybe he has got some money to invest, and he says, yeah, okay, that seems like a smart idea, I'll go for that. Jane says the same, and so does Bob. Because Tom, Jane, and Bob have all bought a subscription to Cuvera, you're going to get your subscription free of charge. So you'll get access to all of those tools that we've just talked about and a ton of others besides. I'll touch on some of them shortly. Now, the fact is that if you get your subscription for free, chances are these guys will want to get the same as well. So Tom goes out and he tells 3 friends about it. Jane does the same thing, and so does Bob. And they all get 3 friends each. The company now has a bunch of customers, and they haven't spent a single penny in advertising. So they're going to use their advertising budget and pay it to you as a thank you. First of all, Tom, Jane, and Bob all get their products paid for them too. But because there's a bigger group of people, you're going to get paid a reward of $500 every single month. So now not only do you get the tools free of charge, but you've also got some money to invest, even if you didn't have before. And if you find 3 people who find 3 people in your first 30 days, you get an additional $250 bonus. And there's a couple of people on the call who've done that. I did that myself. I got started with this company at the beginning of this year. And when I got started, I literally sat down on day 1 and I sent 30 or 40 messages out to friends of mine on Facebook. And I said, listen, guys, I've seen something that's blown me away. I was talking to a really good friend of mine, and I'm going to introduce you guys to this friend later. But I said, I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he showed me something that's blown me away. I can't explain it because I don't really know enough about it, but I've arranged that he will come on a call with me and he'll explain it for me. So will you come on a call? It took me 3 hours to find my first 3 people, and it took me 11 hours to fill the rest of that circle and qualify for $500 a month in bonuses, plus an additional $250 fast start bonus as well. So it's something that every single one of you did. I didn't know what I was doing. I literally just said, come and listen to my friend and I'll let him explain it for you. So if you're looking at this right now thinking, oh, sounds good, but I can't explain what I've just seen, you don't have to. We'll do it for you. Okay, so it goes on beyond that because $500 a month is just the starting point. First of all, the first thing that you're going to get is find 3 people you get your product paid for. By the time those 3 people have all found 3 each, you're going to get $500 a month. When they all find 3 each, you'll get $1,000 a month. And when they all find 3, it goes to $2,000, $4,500, $9,000, $15,000. In fact, we have one guy who lives in Mexico, which is not a wealthy country. He's been with the company for just 2 years, and he's gone around telling all of his friends about this business. Last month, he earned $160,000 just in product bonuses, nothing to do with any investments that he had. Now, as it happens, Herman's invested heavily in a lot of the products that we have since, because these days he can afford to. So these days he's making considerably more than 160,000. 160,000 is the starting point as far as he's concerned. So how do you get started? Well, to get started, first of all, we all start with what we call the All-In Pack. The All-In Pack gives you access to FX1, which is the Forex product we talked about originally, Crypto One, which we also talked about, and startups. It also gives you access to a range of financial fitness tools that you can use to help assess your savings and see if you're spending too much in any particular areas and see if you can make any savings. And we have a lady on the call that I was speaking to just a few weeks ago who said that she's managed to save more than £700 a month just using the financial fitness tools. Excuse me. For the sake of selling the business to other people and marketing it, you're also going to get your own personalized website, and you get an integrated office and marketing suite that actually holds the whole thing together in the back end for you. Now, the cost of the whole package is $279. Now, remember I said on day one, I found my 3 people and I got a $250 bonus. That meant starting my new business cost me $29. My last business that I started cost me over £100,000. So this was an absolute no-brainer. And there is a monthly subscription of $199. But again, find 3 people and you don't pay the $199 a month subscription. So, I don't love my talking right now. My throat's drying up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to stop the screen share and I'm going to introduce you to a bunch of people who are already working this business themselves. And I'm going to ask you to hear some of their opinions and just tell you what their experiences are of the products and of the business as well. So as I'm looking around and I'm looking at my screen, and guys, I'm going to call you out because we haven't had the chance to reach out to you, but first of all, let's go to Blackpool if I can. And I can see Tara Robinson. Tara, are you there? Microphone's unmuted, Tara. Tara, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Hi, Tara.
Yeah,
do you want to tell everyone your story?
Hi, everyone. I'm Tara Robinson. I'm from Blackpool. I'm a single mum of 7. And my background is business. I've been self-employed since I was 17. But never been very good at maintaining, keeping my money in the bank. So when I was introduced to Cavera, I seen a great opportunity to invest my money. So now not only am I working hard, but my money is working hard for me, as I've invested in all the services. So yeah, if you're looking at this for the first time, I'd definitely get back to the person that invited you, because it's a great company, and when you join Cavera, you definitely join a family. Thank you, Roger.
Thanks a lot, Tara. Okay, now I want to talk to a lady who actually only joined us a few weeks ago. She's already making a name for herself, and in fact, she actually took a trip to join us face-to-face a couple of days ago to a meeting that we held over in the Wirral. So, Cynthia, can you hear me? Can you speak? I can't see Cynthia's microphone on my screen, so Cynthia might not be able to speak right now. Okay, Cynthia, if your microphone comes up, we're going to come back to you. But let me see who else we can look at. So, seeing as I was talking about the Wirral, we have a guy on the screen who, when I first saw this business at the beginning of the year, my friend passed me a video that told basically the same story that I've just told you. And that video is presented by the man I want to introduce you to right now. His name's Simon Kendrick. He's one of the leaders in the business. He has a huge organization of people literally worldwide these days. Simon, are you there? Simon, you're not, your voice isn't coming through, mate. There you go. Yeah, can hear you now.
Guys, how you doing? My name's Simon Kendrick. Welcome to the call, first of all. So my journey with Cavera, I was previously involved in another business. It was great, all the rest of it. It was health and well-being. Wasn't really my thing. Nothing against the opportunity or anything like that, but it just didn't get me out of bed of a Monday morning. Like Roger said, you're going to hear from a guy who I actually went to visit up in Formby, just north of Liverpool. And I asked him a load of questions. And I signed on the night. And the reason for that is because I already had a little bit of knowledge about the Forex. So that's what caught my attention. But I didn't do too well at it. But I absolutely love the concept of Kuvera being able to copy and paste information from trade alerts into the trading platform where all the research analysis is done for you, right? And just the other day, I think I made 40% on my account with one trade in 24 hours. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. So that was me then, all in. But my passion grew and grew and grew and grew. And I realised it wasn't just about me. There's so many people out there that we can help with whether it's Forex, whether it's crypto, whether it's startups, whether it's our financial educational platform, which I believe, a lot of people don't want it. They need it because there's a financial epidemic out there with people. So with Kuvera, we've got something for everyone. And, it's just the last 18 months for me and my family have been an absolute whirlwind. The people on the call who know me will, be testimony to that, of what's happened to me and my family in the past 18 months, but it's incredible. And I'd just like to reiterate what Tara said. Whoever's invited you onto this call, go back to them, ask them questions, get that relevant information to go away and make an informed decision. And hopefully we'll see you in the winner's circle. All right, cheers, Rog.
Thanks a lot, Simon. Okay, Cynthia's microphone still isn't coming up, but I am going to go to another young lady who lives in the southwest of England. And we saw... She's waving hi. So we met this lady again at the weekend. She's been with the company for a few months now. So I'm going to mute her. And Joanne, are you there?
Hi guys, here I am.
Joanne.
Thanks for inviting me on this evening. As you can see, I'm not prepared. I'm in my dressing gown. Yeah, so basically, guys, I joined the company back in January. I live in the southwest of England, as Roger's just said, and my background is in retail management. Now, the reason why I started to look at other opportunities, and thankfully I came across Kuvera, was because I simply don't like being managed, hence why I'm a store manager. So with that being said, I thought, I need to start looking at different things, see what's going on out in the world, what's fresh, what's new, just because I wanted to think of my family as well. So in all fairness, I think the last 9 months have been the best experience I've ever had in my whole entire life. I've met some amazing people. I've learned to re-educate myself. I'm starting to understand the financial markets. I'm invested in certain products, and I'm just looking forward to 2019. There's some areas of the business that I want to explore. Not only that, I have a small team. I'm no longer paying my subscription, and I just want to sort of spread the word, get out there and help as many people as I can. And so like what Simon and Tara said, if you are looking at this business for the first time, then please do get back to the person that's invited you onto the call, because there's some exciting things coming for all of us involved here. Back over to you, Roger.
Thanks a lot, Joanne. Okay, guys, the last person I'm going to introduce you to is a very, very good friend of mine. One way or another, I've owned my own businesses for pretty much the last 40 years. But I met this guy 28 years ago and worked with him for a long, long time. I was fortunate enough to retire when I was still quite young. And family circumstances changed, and I came back to the UK and decided I needed something else that I was going to do. And if I was going to look for another business, there was only one other person that I would work with, and that's the man I'm going to introduce you to. He's a very, very good friend of mine. Can you please say hello to Simon Brooks? Simon.
Good evening. Hello, everybody. Simon Brooks from Formby, which is just 12 miles north of Liverpool. Well, I've been involved in the industry of network marketing for just over 31 years. And in that time period, I've made around 14 million. Now, I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you of what you can achieve. Let's just think if you do not look at getting involved in Kuvera. Let's say if you got involved in pills, potions, lotions, tablets, skincare, face cream, coffee, whichever company, whichever product sector, you have to then buy their products, and you've got to share their products and give samples to your prospective customers and people and friends and contacts. Who pays for those samples? You do. Do we need to do that? No. Ours is all through the internet, where you can just show people your results of what you're getting with the products. Folks, this business, I've never seen an opportunity with a product range, the product sector 5.4 trillion a day, that gets results like we get. Plus, we haven't got any competition. Plus, going back about 14 months ago, our company went public, so we're a public traded company. Plus, we got people making fortunes, but we've got around about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people making fortunes. So it's a head you win, tails you win. You cannot lose. So why would somebody looking at this opportunity sit on the fence? Because all you're going to get is splinters. You're going to pick splinters out your backside. You're going to be thinking, oh, I'm going to get round to doing it. If you do not do anything about your 2019 year, it will be the same as 2018. If you want to improve it, do something about it. We've got a system. We've got a product range. We have the deal. We have the opportunity. All we need to do is look for people like you to lock arms with us and ask us to share with you what to do, where to do it, how to do it, and why to do it. So this business works 100% of the time for 100% of the people that give it the time. Roger, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Simon. Okay, guys, that's pretty much the presentation complete. I just want to add a couple of things, and that is, if you're looking at this for the first time, chances are good the question that's running through your head is, can I do this? Well, the answer is categorically, everyone can do this. And we know that everyone can do this because, as Simon said, we have a system. And we teach you that system. We teach you that system online via group telephone calls like this. And we also teach people face-to-face in live training sessions. Now, in a couple of weeks' time, the beginning of January, we're going to have a live training session in Haydock. And we have people literally traveling, not just across the UK, but we have people traveling across Europe to come to that live training session. The training is so valuable, people are prepared to get on planes to come and watch this. The cost of the training session is just £6. So we're not making profit out of trying to sell you trainings by selling you events at 150 quid or anything silly like that. The idea is a contribution towards the cost of the room, whilst we give you our time free of charge and our experience free of charge to help you to build a business. So that event takes place on the 13th of January. And if you talk to the person who's invited you on this call, they'll give you all the details of that event.
Roger, before I say any more, that £6 is only for distributors. If someone's brand new looking at the event, it's free. Absolutely.
So if you're looking at this and you haven't actually signed up by then you can come across for free. I would say sign up before then and just get started and get talking to people, because to be perfectly honest with you, between now and then you could have invited your 3 and you could actually be in a position where you're actually being paid by then, because it's perfectly possible to get enough people between now and the end of this month so that you actually get paid your first $500, in fact $750 with the bonus, by the 15th of next month. But if you want to bring any guests with you so that they can see it as well, it doesn't cost anything to bring them with you, and we'll do the explaining for you, which was the important thing. So that's that. Now, typically we do this call every single week at the same time to explain it to any of your guests. So all you have to do is invite people onto this. People tell me that there's reasons for days off next week. I'm not quite sure about stuff like that, but that's because I'm sad and a workaholic. So Boxing Day next week, no call. However, we will be back on the 2nd of January to kick 2019 off and make 2019 the most significant year of your life. So we're going to look forward to seeing you all then. My name is Roger Garth. See you soon, guys. Bye.
Happy Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.